everybody, it's Chris from Guilty Words, where we unravel crime one word at a time. Ask Wendi Adelson a direct question, and you'll rarely get a direct answer. What you get instead is something smoother, polished sentences that sound honest, but operate like a shield. Tonight we'll take a look at her police interview and the testimonies in the various trials to see how her calm, polished speech works like a verbal defense system, turning truth into suggestion. Let's take a look at it together. Let's look first at her linguistic deflection. When asked, did anyone ever talk about hurting Dan, Wendi doesn't answer the question. She says, "That's not something I ever would have wanted." In one quick shift, the question about someone else's actions becomes a statement about her own feelings. The same move shows up again in her trials. He was more observant of kosher rules than I was, or I may have felt that way at the time. Each sentence sounds introspective, but actually redirects attention. Even in interviews, she told reporters, "I think the police think my family had something to do with this, but we didn't." That kind of phrasing wraps denial in empathy, making it sound thoughtful instead of defensive. When Wendi doesn't want to commit to details, she turns to vague nouns and soft verb tenses. Things like, "It was a complicated situation." "Things were hard back then." "I don't know how to answer that." Even, "I guess I could have," is a gentle hedge that blurs accountability. These phrases sound sincere but remove all specifics: who acted, what happened, and when it mattered. It's the linguistic equivalent of fog. You think you see the shape, but everything stays safely blurred. Now watch how expertly Wendi flips questions into commentary. For example, when asked, "Did you ever discuss moving to Miami before Dan was killed?" she answers, "We talked about how nice it would be if the boys could grow up near my family." The timeline vanishes and the tone softens to nostalgia. When asked if she moved out when he was away, she says, "I rented a home in Tallahassee." And when pressed about her parents' money, well, it depends how you define wealthy. This is reframing, turning a binary question into an interpretive one. By restating the premise, she seizes control of the meaning and closes the loop with sentiment instead of substance. Some of Wendi's most strategic answers sound the nicest. "I totally understand why people might have questions. I respected the court's decision, and I would make the best of it. I was happy at my job. I can understand that." These are classic examples of positive politeness, empathy that ends inquiry. Listen to how carefully Wendi handles her pronouns. "They were concerned about Dan. We just wanted what was best. He thought I was controlling." Each choice repositions her. "They" pushes the blame outward. "We" claims shared virtue, and "he" isolates conflict. By toggling pronouns, she edits alliances on the fly. Pronouns become like steering wheels. She drives the conversation wherever safety lies. Wendi once said, "He was using religion as a way of controlling me." But notice what happens next. Her own words demonstrate control. "I would have left Danny regardless of anyone else's input. My mom isn't controlling. I don't remember saying that." Each statement rewrites the narratives, softening conflict while keeping authority. Through selective memory, because we saw a lot of that in her testimonies, and careful phrasing, she dictates What is knowable? Control doesn't always look forceful. Sometimes it sounds perfectly calm. Wendi has yet another verbal defense mechanism. When scrutiny rises, she pivots from suspect to sufferer. I was in shock. I was just talking and talking. I didn't eat for a month. I was terrified someone would come after me. He treated me badly, but even my family would never do something like this. Later, she told reporters, I've been through hell and back. People don't understand. These statements turn suspicion into sympathy. Her verbosity becomes trauma. Her defensiveness becomes compassion. The role flips from conspirator to emotional casualty. Wendi's language is polished to the point of gentleness. Harsh realities shrink beneath soft substitutions. Instead of abusive, she prefers controlling. Instead of hatred, it's frustration. Instead of conspiracy, she says family support. These word swaps drain emotion and accountability. He would sometimes rub people the wrong way. I was unhappy. I might have called him that as a silly nickname. We had differing views. Her sentences smooth every edge until nothing sharp remains, and that calm tone makes her denial sound civilized. By now the pattern is clear. Refocus. She answers the emotion, not the fact. Reframe. She replaces accusation with abstraction. Rephrase. She uses modal verbs, would have, might, could, to blur certainty. And reclaim. Politeness redeems her power. Wendi doesn't deny. She redirects. Her grammar turns conversation into construction. Every phrase is a small act of self-preservation. So what conclusions can we draw from all of this? Well, as we know, language is never neutral. It builds stories, it shields motives, and sometimes it can manufacture innocence. Wendi Adelson's calm syntax isn't accidental, it's engineered. Each polite phrase deflects, reframes, or rewrites. When truth is dangerous, grammar may become either a shield or a weapon. Thank you for joining me tonight. I really appreciate your time. And if you like this content and want to see more, please hit the subscribe button. We'd love to have you back. And until I see you in our next video, please use your words kindly, wisely, and well. Take care.